said, I love you, I love you, I love you. I also love you guys. I love your courage. I love your resilience. And I love your confidence. You know? Love it. So many speakers have spoken about so many things. We heard about youth. We heard about businesses. We heard about agriculture. We heard about entrepreneurship. We heard about choices. We then had experts like Rose. We also talked about the Paris development model and how important it is, not only for the government, but us as, individuals of this nation. But most importantly, we spoke about mindset also earlier today. Is that right? Yes. And the mindset is the biggest power we have. And what amazing friendship you have, because if somebody is low, like my friend Mr. Smiley is low today, we all are helping him with our mind to change his mind and keep it high. Because he still feels he's part of a family, despite his loss. So we say that for long-term ambitions, we have to have three things. And we talked about impact is very important. So as you are embarking on any journey, think about the impact. We also talked about sustainability. And the chairman said that in Uganda, like many parts of the world, youth are very fast. Quick, they think and they do. I think one thing I'm going to encourage you is when you think and do for long term, not for short term. Yeah? When you think and do for long term, that is called sustainability. And the last thing is really accountability or responsibility. We as Africans, I am a Tanzanian like I say, we have to hold ourselves responsible so that someday, like my friend has come from Netherlands to help us here, we can also go and help people in Netherlands. We should have bigger ambitions. Is it right? Yes. We'll start with ideas, we'll start with products, but hope someday we can reciprocate this amazing favor. Because that's the future that I dream about for Africa. So it's very important. So a little bit about Standard Chartered Bank. We are only 110 years old in Uganda. Actually, on 12th of August this month, we celebrated 110 years. So imagine someday we started as an entrepreneur in Uganda. And today we are 110 years old. Why? Because we believed in impact, we believed in sustainability, and we believed we are going to be responsible. Just what Maggie said, that we are here for good. So what does here for good mean? It's a brand promise, it's a commitment. We are not here to make money, but we are here to drive a purpose. And as we are driving a purpose, we are also making money, because that's very important in life, is that correct? So that's what Standard Chartered believes in. It believes that when we invest in community, we create direct and indirect impact, which gives us long-term sustainability, because that's what drives the economy. So as Standard Chartered Bank, given that we have recently also, a couple of years back, embarked on a new strategy, as we called it, we become much more bolder about our here for good brand promise. And we've taken three stands. We say stand. When you take a stand, you become bold. And in life, we all have to take different stands. So the three stands we have taken is, one is lifting participation. And what you see today as our commitment and contribution is about lifting participation. Our dream is to impact 1 billion lives, and largely in Africa. And through this collaboration, we are impacting about 12,000 lives. And just downstairs, I got to learn that we actually are impacting many more, because we are also encouraging outgrower schemes. My friend Sam down there, talked about his honey business that was impacting 100 community members. Imagine how many such members we are impacting. So lifting participation is really about unleashing the potential of women, youth, especially able friends, and in general the population of the nation. Our second stand is really about accelerating zero. I know that the world is going through a lot of climate challenges, and Uganda too. Our internal commitment is to go to carbon neutral status by 2030. But also we are helping a lot of our clients to embark on big ambitions to become carbon neutral. Again, our ambition is to impact 1 billion lives, and largely in Africa. So it's going to be amazing, but we'll need to partner particularly with the government, which is important. Our third stand is really about resetting globalization. How are we going to do this? As a group, we have an ambition to work with 500,000 businesses, 500,000 businesses, and I hope some will come from here, where we are going to collaborate to drive the best practices in businesses. To become global, you have to have best practices. And as a bank, we're going to collaborate with businesses to do that. Even us as a bank, we have a lot of networks. We have so many clients all over the world. So if you can take a client from Uganda to partner with a client in Thailand, for example, that is about resetting globalization. So those are our 3 stands. Now moving on. How amazing that we have partnered with Code. And the country director of Code, spoke to us today. And she told us what are the ambitions or what are the plans of this project. But for us, what we like about them is they are a value-based organization. They only think good. How amazing. And they think good about us. So we have to think good about ourselves also in collaboration with them. They are also about partnerships. I think they are working with 361 different entities, will be one of them. So we also as Standard Chartered Bank believe in partnerships. And the third thing we believe in is doing good, and we are here for good. So what an amazing partnership we have, and I hope it can continue to grow. Now she talked about what are we trying to achieve. The population of Uganda is growing. We have a lot of unemployed youth. So through entrepreneurship, we want to make sure that more and more youth get engaged in meaningful manners. And in North Uganda, as you know, the poverty rate is twice what it is for the nation, actually. So we need to drive business in much more forceful manners, and I can see the government leaders are here. I'm sure they have bigger ambitions. But what is important is the power of this collaboration for business. You can actually be the engine of growth for Uganda. Because food is constantly going to be demanded, because not only Uganda's population is growing, but the global population is growing. So let's continue to focus on this agri-business. Finally, I think from my side, I feel very, very privileged that today we are launching this project. As you know, we are providing Uganda shillings 970 million towards the second phase. It is going to impact many, many youth. Our aim is to impact 700 entrepreneurship businesses. So 700 businesses is what our aim is in partnership. And we hope that there's going to be a good share of male to female, gender equality distribution. But at the moment, my understanding is 2/3 of those businesses will be led by male and 1/3 by women. If you had done the same initiative many years ago, we would hardly have women. So I'm really, happy that women are taking initiatives to become entrepreneurship. They say if you empower a woman, you're actually empowering the nation. So well done, women. Good. So future makers, and Maggie spoke very quickly about future makers. I'm going to say 3 things that we are trying to achieve through future makers. And for group 1 is education. Our aim is to educate 500,000 girls and women, especially in Uganda. So you will see us more often. The second thing is really about driving employability, and that is by building capacity. Our aim is to make sure that about 100,000 people get meaningful employment. Remember, we're going to be here for a long time, so we'll work through that. And then finally, entrepreneurship. And that is what we are doing here together. Ladies and gentlemen and friends, I think my speech is pretty long already, but I'm so blessed. And Devas, thank you. Thank you for bringing me here. I'm just happy